Okay. I see you get the nice big chair.
Yeah, brought it in. You have a chair. Not like it makes you stand.
Yeah, it's like, where do we even get these? They were like free somewhere, probably like sitting on the side of the road.
I think we got them when an engineering firm went out of business. And we grabbed this chair and a ton of other chairs for your office. They threw those in. Pretty sure.
No, we've had these way longer.
You know, those things.
When we got these, I think when we got the gong, the big
Yeah, that's
gong.
where we got the gong from.
Oh, okay.
It's from an engineering firm.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah.
I was thinking like the boardroom table and stuff.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so that's how they came into our lives. You're welcome. Enjoy.
Sorry for making your morning upsetting.
What was our morning upsetting about?
Nike.
Oh, yeah. It's dumb, though.
I told Andrew that they've changed their mantra from just do it. He did not believe me. He thought it was a scam or that I was making stuff up.
Well, because it was so stupid, I thought it had to be a joke. But the internet, which never lies, told me what's going on.
So they switched it from just do it to why do it?
Yeah, which is a great question about why do it? Why change your motto when the new version is just not as good?
Yeah. We are so far away from the mic and higher. We're way higher than the mic. We're in a different location at the moment.
And that we can't name for fear of repercussion.
Just our closet is way too hot today.
Yeah.
And so we had to go to a cooler place, a cooler location.
Temperature-wise.
Temperature-wise.
I don't know about vibe.
Anyways, share your thoughts on Nike.
I think it just weakens it. I think what it does is, so why do it? Like I read why they wanted this logo or this motto, and it just doesn't make sense. Like it just doesn't, no matter how you cut it down, it just doesn't make sense. Like to get people to think about the passion and the reasons behind why they do what they do. You're an athletics company talking about getting people to actually participate in athletics. The why behind it is ridiculous. Like you can still use just do it and talk through the why in your pitches and end on it. But
maybe we need a younger generation because that's where it's come from. It's come from the younger generation about sensitivity and fears
but it serves no purpose is the and I know, sure, middle-aged white guy, I get it. An unk, I'm a whatever you want to call it. It's fine. Okay, boomer, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you really break it down, what does that new motto actually accomplish?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't accomplish anything. Why do it? What?
Yep.
Okay, why would I go buy your shoes then? Why bother? Because that's essentially what it takes me to is why bother?
Yeah. Because very few people are going to reflect on the value. Like I'm assuming there's a values, right? Like finding that underlying value and the importance and the big why. Very few people are actually going to do that.
No, it's dumb. And so if anybody has any ties to Nike, feel free to pass that along.
Well, and the other problem is in the psychology world, would never ask why. It changes our brain to defense mode and we push back against just that why. So even looking from a psychological linguistic aspect, it is not a good choice. There's so many other ways to get at the big why, but that just shuts the brain down and becomes more defensive.
Which is amazing to me because the marketing agencies that deal with companies like Nike are full behavioral psychologists and all these other like really trained people. So the fact that that's where they landed just.
But are they using AI? This is the problem that I think we're going to start seeing is.
I don't know that AI is this dumb. Like, honestly, like it for me goes down as one of the stupidest changes in, like, I like marketing. In a former life, I was.
I was going to say, you're a good marketer, yeah.
And, well, I don't know if I'm good, but I liked it. And I find it interesting. And I find the story behind getting people to do stuff is interesting or be interested in stuff or whatever. This checks none of those boxes. There's nothing about that motto that ties to the brand of Nike and what Nike actually does. There's nothing like it severs the relationship between the customer and the product in such a dramatic way. I don't care how you talk it through or how it was spun in the meetings to the executives to get them to buy into it. The greatest sales job that motto ever did was being sold to the executives of Nike as the good idea. That was the single best sales job it will ever do because it is atrocious.
Yeah.
Simple, full stop, horrible. And whoever signed off on that really needs to take a step back and wonder what they're doing. Because if the justification is, well, it's to engage a younger demographic and get them buying our product, what are you doing? Like you've lost the core value of what it is you're trying to accomplish by doing that. Simple as that. Because your product hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Someone's sitting there thinking through the why of like, why do they play pickleball? Because it's easy and it's a lazy sport and people seem to love it.
Hold on now.
Well, do you think it's highly competitive?
It can be. It absolutely can be.
All right. I'm not a fan of pickleball as a competitive sport, but sorry, I'll take a different approach since you have a love for pickleball. You're not going to get people that play poker professionally and consider themselves athletes to change their ways. Like it's not going to happen. It's not the motto doesn't tie to the end result. That's as simple as that. I'm just repeating it, but it's dumb.
Who has the best mantra or
Nike
advertisement?
did. Nike did. Like hands down, Nike had the all-time greatest slogan for a company. Just do it. Unbelievable. I mean, McDonald's they've had some
Well,
great ones.
that's what I was thinking. I'm just ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I'm loving it. Is huge. Like there's a ton of really good ones. But if you look at because there's been papers written and articles written on Just Do It and the logo itself, right? Because obviously the logo came around earlier, but it was so kind of not revolutionary, but so bold when they went with the Just Do It slogan. But it truly became a core component of Nike in the marketplace.
yeah.
Simple as that. Like, and this new one, like, why do it? Like, just stupid.
It's just flat. It's flat. And I've tried. I am someone who talks about getting at values and but anyway, slice it. Like it just doesn't have the oomph that I
No.
think that they were hoping. I don't know.
Like, what I mean, and how do you break it down? Like, people looking at athletes using your product, and your motto is "Why do it?" Like, it has. You're right. It has a negative connotation. Like, why is that guy running track? Why would anyone want to do that sport?
And
Like,
it's
that's what it
more
goes to.
work, like in the morning, like to go work out. Why do it? Now I got to think of all the reasons versus just do it. Like just do it. There's
do it.
no,
Don't be stupid. Like,
I don't know.
like
I could go on.
it's like you look at Jocko Willink and stuff like that, and those type of guys that are just about, motivation is fleeting, discipline is what gets things going. The Just Do It one plays to the discipline side of the house. Once you have a routine and you have something that, like, if you're relying on motivation as your fuel to do something, you'll never do it because that runs out.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're talking about with these two slogans. Just Do It is the discipline.
Yeah.
It is the routine.
Yeah.
It is the decision you've made to go forward and complete the task that might be hard or might be unappealing, but is ultimately
Or scary, like in any emotion.
Yeah.
Any emotion.
But it's ultimately going to be better for you.
Yeah.
The other one is why do it? That's the motivation. What is your motivation to go do this? Who cares?
Yeah. No one will get anywhere
Yeah.
if we wait for motivation.
The motivating factor is I don't want to be fat anymore. Okay. So why? What's your passion? Not dying of coronary disease in my 40s. Like it just takes you so far away from the act that you need to go do. It's stupid. So Nike, like, thank you for tuning into this week's marketing podcast. But just anyone that has any ties to Nike or anything like that, tell them they're stupid. Like, it's just brutal. Anyway, you ruined my morning and now my afternoon is going downhill because I just gotten over it and now I'm agitated again. Like, I'm legit agitated.
I I'm sorry.
This is why I wear Under Armour shoes.
It's funny because yeah, I was Nike for
You are a snob. You
decades,
are a snob. Mm.
decades, and I haven't been. I did actually buy a pair just today, funny enough, only because the research is saying for the kind of workouts that I do, it is the best one, and or Reebok. And I tried Reebok and they were terrible, so I took them back. So today is the first day that I bought Nike in a long time, but I was, yeah, it's not.
That
That's
did,
all I
you know,
have.
so you looked at the why of your workouts to figure out the shoe to get. Maybe I'm wrong.
I suppose.
So dumb. So dumb. 0 out of 10 Nike. That's ridiculous. Anywho,
Anywho, what are we talking about today?
shoes. We're talking about shoes. We're talking about shoes for your kid. No, I'm kidding. I got a question for you.
Oh, butt shoes. I will say,
What shoes?
I'm all for secondary, like secondhand clothes,
Except for shoes.
except for shoes. Shoes is the one thing I've always,
Yeah, you've
I'm
always.
always, and even just money wise, like, well, even today there were shorts on sale for $15. I'm like, 15 bucks. I'm not buying $15 Nike
Yeah,
shorts or Under Armour, like brand name. No. Shoes, yeah, I'll pay. Like, wow, it's cheap. It was only at 120 bucks. I remember when shoes were like 300. I am a snob when it comes to good, not dress shoes. I don't wear dress shoes.
you sure don't.
No,
Dress shoes for you are Toms.
yeah, Toms are my, and literally when I go for like workshops and I'm either wearing Adidas or Toms. But when it comes to good workout shoes, anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go
It's
on.
all good. It's all good. So, do you know how many boys?
52.
Okay, let me get to it first. The boys between the ages of 12 and 16 e-
52.
either has or knows someone who has an AI girlfriend.
Mm, it's not what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, obviously, because you kept yelling 52. So I knew you didn't know what I was going to say.
Well, if it was porn, I'd be like 100%. That age for sure. AI girlfriend.
Yeah.
I have heard of this more and more. Like I've definitely heard of it becoming a thing, but I actually don't know.
1 in 5
Oh
currently.
my.
1 in 5.
Oh my.
So 20% of males, 12 to 16, either know someone or have themselves and have made themselves an AI girlfriend, which is just insane. And this came out of an article from the Telegraph, which we can link.
Is it linked with diagnoses at all? Because that is exactly, I won't say it here because I don't want to upset anyone, but just tongue in cheek.
It doesn't,
That's it.
that's not the leading. I mean, the article itself is a bit more, oh my God, the sky is falling. So you got to kind of take it with a grain of
Yeah.
salt. Like the tone of it is around that. But I find it interesting. And I wanted to ask this about just starting with your thoughts on why would boys in that age group, and I'm sure there's tons of others, right? I'm sure there's ironic that given the spiel I just gave in the intro, that we're asking the why. But what do you think would motivate boys to do this?
Loneliness, disconnection, not feeling heard,
Yeah,
like in everyday life, I bet a lot of teenagers just don't feel heard. They're being nagged at by their parents all the time, right? They're at school, like there's probably not a lot of opportunity, like at all.
yeah,
And it's hard. Like, I think it's really hard to have relationships in this day and age on so many different levels in so many different ways, especially boys who are maybe at the lower end of the pecking order in terms of, girls being interested in
no Riz,
like, I don't know what that means.
charisma. We've talked about this. It was a
Oh,
definition show.
oh,
Riz, charisma.
yeah. Like, I don't know. I just think that there's a lot. It's interesting to me. Like, I'm just going to take a
Yeah,
side
yeah, yeah.
step because Maya's in the dating scene.
She is. When
And
did this start?
and we were talking about this the other day where everybody, all of her friends are on dating apps. And anyone I talk to who does young and old who've met somebody, they've met them on a dating app. And even Maya, I was really surprised with Maya. We're talking university
Yeah,
students. I was really surprised. She's like, no, they're all on dating apps. I'm like, are you thinking of going? And she's like, no, like she's like, I have no problem going up and talking with people. And it's true.
good.
Like she has really broken out of her shell and is happy, even just to like not even pursue anything. It's just, I love meeting people and I'm interested in meeting people. So for her, it's just weird
Yeah,
because like just go outside and say hello to somebody, right?
yeah.
She's really learned that people are actually pretty nice and pretty cool. She's met so many cool people by doing that. Male, female, like
Doesn't matter.
friends, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So I think that there's that lost art too. I think it's just this layer and layer and layer of what's going on. But I see it in adults too, where they're turning to AI for companionship, for all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
But I think it's that companionship because it does just engage back. And now, well, we had that one episode where we were talking. I had never talked to chat before, and like, wow, like you can have a pretty good conversation, and it is very validating and acknowledging. But
Well, and that's it, right? Like it mimics, and it mimics a lot of times what it thinks you want to hear, which is the dangerous part, right?
and kids aren't out in the world either.
No.
Like it's just so what else are they gonna
Well, and that was one of it, right? Is that it's I think it directly relates to a lot of the skills atrophy that we've been talking about a lot, right? Like being able to handle rejection or handle challenging conversations or just initiating conversations, all these social skills that kids frankly are losing a lot of times, right? It is contributing to it because there's no resistance in an AI. And in the context of this article, they talk about one dude who started it on an app as a joke, like as a laugh, right? But then started kind of using it more and more and more to the point where it kind of, dawned on him that, yeah, this is my girlfriend, right? And there's that movie with Joaquin Phoenix like that too. I think it's called Her or whatever. And it's exactly that. It's that OS that I think it's Scarlett Johansson voices it, but he ends up falling in love with an AI operating system, right? And it's interesting to me because it really highlights a few things in terms of like, and I won't go down the path of like screens and stuff. We talk about that way too much sometimes, but it really comes down to just understanding that escapism has always been there,
Yeah.
right? Like I remember when there was a platform called Second Life came around in the years. You
Mm,
remember that?
kind of.
And people were freaking out that people were living their lives online and people were marrying other people online, but they were married in real life and it was going to be the end of civilization and blah, 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 blah. All of those were kind of clunky, right? Like it was sure you had the extreme cases where the people were like, yes, that's my true self and I love this and blah, blah, blah. This isn't that. This is truly, to your point, you're able to pick up the phone, right, and call your girlfriend and have a conversation very similar to what we would have done when we were growing up. That doesn't exist on all these other platforms to a certain degree, right? So it's like, how do you manage that with these kids?
Well, and yeah, and it is gonna create, well, there's a couple of things here. It is gonna create, well, just like porn,
Yeah.
where sex isn't the same. For young boys who are exposed to a young age, they have, I mean, they probably see even really violent stuff. There's porn now where like the most popular porn ends in death. So they are seeing very violent things. And so it really desensitizes them and makes real sex blah.
Yeah.
It's just not that good. And so I think there's the riskiness, especially with young developing minds, to not understand what a real relationship is. And they're never going to learn, like, even just conflicts. And then I see it all the time. We've had a fight. Okay, like, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Now heartbroken. And like, what do you mean? Just assume that the relationship's over because they've never experienced that. But this is where psychologists get into trouble usually, right? Like it's people opening up their heart, opening up all their secrets, all of their feelings, and they're being validated and heard and understood. And I think that's the piece. And especially with boys, I don't know, it'd be interesting to know what the stats are for girls, but especially with boys who probably are hearing the message, suck it up. They don't have the same emotional welcoming. I know society's changing, but there is still a stigma, I think, for boys, to be crying or to sharing their
100%.
feelings or any of those things.
100%.
And so to have that, and that's why so many people do fall in love with their psychologist, for example, and why people get into trouble that way, just because they've never had that sort of connection, I guess.
Yeah.
And like it just scares me for real life and what these boys are going to expect from a real relationship.
Well, and that's exactly it, right? Like when anyone becomes used to constantly being told what they want to hear or never being told no, you lose the ability to be rejected at any level, right? And you expect the world to cater to you in a certain degree because it's never been anything different, right? In a lot of ways. So there is that concern at some point that there is going to be some sort of, aversion to rejection in the real world. And how are they going to deal with that? How are they going to deal that personally, like with relationships or just in general?
And even just, well, you don't understand, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then resentment grows and walls build and the
Yeah.
relationship breaks down. Yeah.
And that's exactly it, right? And I think you hit on an interesting point because I think you're right. I think for the most part, I think society is getting, I don't know if it's getting better, but there is a lot more sensitivity around boys and raising boys. But I don't know that that extends beyond small boys. Meaning, I think when boys get into that preteen teen era, the normal societal expectations come in about be strong, be resilient, be, tough, don't cry, all of that stuff. That goes away. Little boys,
Mhm.
I think, to a large degree, get a lot of that, but then they don't. And I think that potentially creates a bit of that gap. And then you add on the fact that more and more of their life is online, more and more of their life is looking for things that, is a sense of connection because it's what helps them connect to their friend group and what it just spirals from there.
And what's really scary is kids are being exposed to AI younger and younger
Yeah.
because they have teddy bears now for babies and toddlers with AI.
Yeah.
And so they can just start having like that imaginary friend. Well, and then that's the whole thing too. Like kids are losing their own imagination
Yeah, you
and
can't
things
make
like
up a
that. Nope.
friend with a trunk for a nose and, like whatever it is.
Yeah, so it's really, but they're going to start experiencing that and craving that younger and younger. And the problem, like with girls that I see, once they hit, you know, puberty and they start, being interested in relationships, I see so many sexualized behaviors and girls just having sex with random guys for that sense of love and connection that they can't seem to get anywhere. And so they think that that's the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and I see that on the flip side with girls, I guess, but it's scary. It's really scary.
Well, and I think part of it, I think it's all scary. I think to that point, there's a component of that where,
Is that Monaco?
yeah, probably
Okay, sorry to interrupt.
that's fine. That's great that you just went there. I think realistically, though, it comes down to there's a component of it where you have to think about what is, and this sounds kind of fear mongering, but there are people that are going to exploit this further and further,
Yeah,
right?
of
Right
course.
now, it might just simply be there's an app where you can create a girlfriend and it's fine. Cool. At some point, someone is going to, or already has, start to use that to push a certain outcome that they're looking for. And lots of words get thrown around too much and are a bit overused, but this is the perfect example of what grooming will look like,
Yeah,
right? In,
yeah,
in the sense that you'll have these kids, boys and girls, signing up, creating companions. That companion is going to push them in a direction that who knows is behind it,
that's true.
right? Like so there is that split. There's the component of the relationship and all of that. But you also need to consider who's at play here trying to make this work, make this happen. And in the article, it also talks about kind of the secrecy around this, right? Where it's not really discussed at length a lot of times. So there's a component where people are keeping this hidden. That just absolutely feeds into that someone behind the scenes doing stuff and shh, this is just between us and we don't, but that just fosters that, right?
Yeah, it is scary. I was watching a show somewhere and it was a teenager who did have this AI girlfriend
Yeah.
and actually, but then met a girl and like actually felt bad that he was cheating on this AI girlfriend.
Oh my
It
God.
was a true, like it was a documentary. And so torn, like he's cheating and then heartbroken that he had to break up with this AI girlfriend. But he was so devastated, and I'm laughing now, but it was so real and so
Which is the
heartbreaking
crazy part.
and so like I'm a bad person and like yeah, it's bonkers. And again, like their brains are still developing and it's hard to make sense of I always come back to horror films. We know it's not real, but we still are affected when we watch a horror film, right?
Yeah,
So, like, it's the same sort of thing. You're still affected, and that emotional brain doesn't understand the difference between real or not.
no. And once you're kind of in that position, you're exploitable, right? Like
Yeah,
we just talked about. And I
yeah,
think there's, I think as parents, the important thing here is just like with anything, just try and learn about it,
yeah,
right? But don't go in accusingly, right? Like I
yeah,
think if you're trying to make sure that you understand what's happening, know what's out there, know what your kids are doing, try and get them. So you made a point earlier of, you just don't understand and they shut down. You need to avoid that, but you still need to talk to them about what they're doing, how they're doing it, why, in just an inquisitive manner and see what you can do from there, right? And
yeah.
just have that conversation with them.
Yeah, without judgment,
Yeah.
have radical acceptance, at least at first, like, well, always have radical acceptance and no judgment. But I mean, it's start young, but even if you've got teenagers, like they're in your house. I actually was just talking with a mom this week, but now they're adults and they're buying their own phone and they're paying their own bills. It's still your house.
Yeah.
You still need to maintain those boundaries. And
Yeah.
this is what I've been talking about in previous episodes, right? Where we lay down those boundaries. But when it comes to screens, like if I had kids who actually were on screens, it's in a public, like in a public space, doors open, headphones off,
Yeah.
right? So that we can have full right to see what it is and check in on you.
Yeah.
But because that's where it goes underground and it becomes a problem when they're by themselves, headphones on,
Yeah.
who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It absolutely is that.
Even teenagers, even teenagers.
Well, and I think, and I think really it just comes down to knowing your kid well enough to, you know, like have a relationship with them where you can talk to them, but also understand when you see a shift that you might need to have more conversations with them, right? And use that understanding to try and steer them away from whatever it is that could be pulling them that way,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And know what's out there. Like there's a few that they list in terms of like what you got to look for, and we can, like I said, we can link the article, but it's like know what these services are,
Yeah.
right? It's like anything, and the TikTok and the Instagrams and all the other apps that are out there are bad as it is, right? But it's constantly evolving. So if your kid's going to have a phone, you've got a new job of being an expert in all things that are currently out there. Simple as that.
Yeah. But this is our job. It looks different now.
Yeah.
We're not worried about the man driving around in the white van with bags of candies picking up kids anymore.
Oh, apparently there's a guy in West Hills that asked girls if they want to go for a coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just read that. Creepy. He's done it a few times. And apparently there's a girl that takes revealing photos of herself in her car in one of the West Hills parking lot.
huh.
Yeah. So,
Lots of stuff. We were just there today. Oh, no, not
no,
we're at
no,
Westward.
we were in Westbrook.
Ah.
Different West.
Well, there you go. Like he's not snatching them up as they walk down the street.
No, he's waiting to get them in the car and then
Yeah.
no coffee for you.
That you don't do. That you don't do.
Yeah.
Right? You can say hello to people. Like you don't need to be scared, but don't go with people to their car.
There's a clip I saw of it was a little girl and her mom asked her off camera, what do you do if someone comes and talks to you and you think they might be trying to abduct you? And she's the cutest thing going and just turns around and goes, tell them I have a GPS in my a-hole. And just with this huge smile on her face, I'm like, oh my God. It's just awesome. Yeah. And the way she said it is quite good too. She was very proud to get to recite the line. But yeah,
We told our girls kick them in the nads.
yeah, 100%. 100%. To this day, I stand by that. If a dude's coming at you and giving you that weird vibe, get out of there. That's all you can do. But yeah, I think it comes down to there's more and more ways for your kids to be pulled away and again, not meant to fearmonger. This is just to your point, understand what is going on, understand what is out there, and understand your kid.
Yep.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever
Doesn't matter. This is just the latest thing. Just whatever it is. Yeah.
All righty.
Cool beans.
Cool beans. Good day.
Good day to you.